we'd like to thank you for taking your time to do this with us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I've read up quite a bit on you lately. You took up the bass at 12 years old, right?
Yeah, 11, 12. I started taking lessons at the School of Rock in Philadelphia when I was 12.
That's right. Was bass your first instrument?
Well, my dad's a guitar collector, so we've got a lot of, in our tiny little Philadelphia row home, we've got like over 30 guitars. And my brother, who was the original drummer of Adrian's band, the Power Trio, was a drummer since like coming out of the womb. So I fiddled around different instruments, like with guitar, synthesizers. I was always interested in making music and noise as a kid, and then I finally, I would say that like it took me so long, 11 years, to finally pick out the bass as my main instrument.
Okay, that's great. And you mentioned Paul Green's School of Rock, and that ultimately did lead you to the Adrian Belew Power Trio. And
it did.
How, obviously that prepared you quite well for your future. What kind of approach did he have, and how did he lead your musical taste in that direction?
Well, I would say, it's funny because we had an article printed about our school in 2001 or 2 in Spin Magazine, and the author of the article was actually James Eha from Perfect Circle and Smashing Pumpkins. So it was an honor to meet him back then in the day. And he actually said in the article that Paul Green was like this wild, cartoon-like, crazy character, kind of like Jack Black. He actually said this in print in the article. So when the movie School of Rock was released like 2 or 3 years later, we were actually pretty stunned that they basically came and filmed our school, VH1 did, and then all of a sudden this Paramount movie came out that was very much like what we experienced, except our school was an after-school music program, the movie School of Rock, for those that have watched that movie before. It's much more popular than our documentary called Rock School. That was like, in a boarding school or something like that. So other than that, I mean, the similarities were pretty interesting. Like, it's pretty much what we experienced in our school. Like, Paul, he took us out on tour, though, and had us playing with some of Frank Zappa's alumni. Like, we did a tour with Napoleon Murphy Brock in 2004. And we would always set up our own gear. And, it was a performance-based music school. It wasn't just, he realized pretty early on when he was just teaching guitar lessons out of his apartment in Philly that, okay, these kids are really great in our 45-minute lessons, but then he got them together in a room to play together and see if we could collaborate, and he realized that his students were all pretty terrible when it came to, like, playing in an ensemble setting. So that's where he sort of got the idea to put on these concerts, and, of course, that prepared me for being a professional musician and touring the world. Because, funny, I was talking about this last night, I've seen a meme lately, it's like being on tour, it's like riding a bike. The bike is on fire, but you're on fire. Actually, everything's on fire. So it's been good training for, all the problem solving and chaos that inevitably occurs when you take a rock band on the road.
That is great. And apparently...
I mean, I'm not even talking about... music. I'm not even talking about, musical training and learning Zappa, of course. But, I mean, it's also important to be, like, a decent human and know how to, like, troubleshoot stuff when it inevitably goes wrong.
Right. One thing we have found is a number of times over the past year we have been around for bands, for touring bands sound checks. And I thought just doing this locally, it seems like every show something is probably going to go wrong. And finding out that for the pros, every show for them, something little will happen that's annoying.
Of course. Yep. Or like I went to college for recording.
Okay.
I was really interested in making sounds from an early age. Like I said, I didn't necessarily find bass right away, but I was always fascinated with crazy sounds and making crazy sounds of my own. So it's very poetic that I ended up playing in Adrian Belews band. Because the master of all these kind of innovative, insane sounds.
Right, because I read up on that. Adrian Belew did a week as a guest lecturer or a guest tutor at the School of Rock.
And so as I kind of mentioned briefly, he saw the documentary that was made about our school called Rock School. Paul had reached out to him after working with other Zappa alumni, again, Napoleon Murphy Brock, Ike Willis. He decided to go for Adrian because he's been big fan of his for many years, and I, in turn, have become a fan of his since I was, 12, 13 years old once I started studying with Paul. Yeah, he did a tour with those all-stars, but I wasn't in the school at that point. I was already in college studying recording, but Adrian went and did the tour with the kids and was so inspired by all these amazing young musicians who, obviously looked up to him and respected him. He thought, maybe I should think about reforming my power trio with some of these students. And of course, Paul was very excited by that idea and really hot to recommend my brother and myself to join the band when we were just 19 and 20 years old.
That's great. Because my first experience with Adrian Belew was his playing with Frank Zappa and the Talking Heads in the 70s and 80s. And even then, he was so experimental, and it was more playing with sounds than playing the guitar. And I really find that in, the Power Trio, it's still going on, the experimenting with sounds. And how much has the technology, he's really embraced the new technology for effects and, various processing.
And the funny thing is about that is he doesn't really like to read manuals or learn. He likes to learn through just doing.
Okay.
And just he'll get a new piece of gear and he'll just push it to every possible limit and make it do the most wild and crazy things. He's, of course, being in the band with him for 13 years, I get to hear all these amazing stories and how he's come up with certain sounds with lexicon rack units in the studio and things like that. Oh, the one particular sound on this solo and in this Talking Head song, I turned the knob sort of halfway in between these two settings. He's he's a rule breaker. He likes to mess around with things. Because I think, honestly, if he necessarily knew the rules, even reading music, he's not a sight reader. He doesn't know how to read music or write music on, sheet music. Obviously, he's a brilliant writer.
Yes.
But because he doesn't know that formal technique, I think it enables him to be more creative and experimental in who he is, really.
Now, also, you're in the band Echo Test with Marco Macera.
Yep.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yep.
Okay.
It's the Italian way. It's technically Macera.
Okay.
Macera. Yeah.
And you have your most recent album, Daughter of Ocean. You did a tour in support of that?
Yeah, well, it's funny because we released it at the beginning of this year, and I was very, very busy with Adrian touring North America this year in promotion for his new album, Pop-Sided. So I wanted to release this Echo Test record that I've been working on for 6 years with Marco. And so I wanted to be able to sell that at the shows with Adrian, obviously, because we were playing to a lot wider audience, of course, in my little band Echo Test. So there wasn't a lot of time to do a big tour in support of Daughter of Ocean. So we joked that it was like our 3-city, 2-city world tour. We played in Barcelona the year before, but that was before the album was released. And then we did a really good show here. So we did a really great show here in Seattle, Prog Festival. It's a really cool, relatively new festival that's been going on here. There's a great prog scene here in Seattle. And we also did 3 or 4 shows down in Mexico City. And those went really well, and we're hoping to go back and do some more in support of that. But yeah, we're looking forward to doing more in 2020 because typically when I have a really busy year in North America with Adrian, the next year sort of slows down a little bit. You can only tour so much, with one record. So with having only done 2-3 shows with Echo Test in support of Daughter of Ocean, I'm definitely looking forward to playing some more with Marco and Alessandro, our drummer.
Okay. Have you ever toured Canada?
We have not, and I would love to. I toured with Adrian, of course, but I have not toured Echo Test in Canada yet. I would love to do that.
That would be great to see you.
Especially Quebec, yeah.
Yeah, Quebec is huge for prog music and anything experimental. And what?
It's funny. Go ahead.
Sorry, what are your views on the current prog scene?
I actually saw Pineapple Thief last night with Gavin Harrison on drums.
Okay.
And they were talking about Quebec and being how it was an amazing show there with a huge. They didn't know how big of a prog scene. It was their first tour in North America, so they weren't sure what to expect. Obviously, they've gotten a lot more successful with Gavin on drums, so this was their first tour in North America, and they were honestly surprised. And I thought that was great. I love that the prog scene is so diverse, and that the fans are so incredibly supportive. It's enabled me to start my keep my band going and writing and creating my own music through my Bandcamp subscription service that I offer.
Yes.
And I really like to consider myself, I'm a student of Adrian, essentially, and I'm very experimental and progressive by nature. So I really take the word and, term prog rock, progressive rock to mean that it really is progressive and breaking new ground and crossing, genres, really, because that's what it should be. I don't necessarily agree with, there are some people who are actually a little bit more conservative in the scene, and they, if you're not wearing a cape and singing about, mythological creatures or something.
Yes.
I mean, that's all great and well and good. Of course, I love that more esoteric progressive rock as well. But I don't necessarily think that our records need to have a mellotron. I say that I just put mellotron on my last song I'm writing. But, like I said, I try to get away from that more almost regressive, conservative music. I like to, I'm a kid I grew up in the 90s. I grew up listening to grunge and Tool and Radiohead and all sorts of, different bands. So I'm in Tortoise and Aphex Twin. So I put all of those elements into Ecotest. I like to think of it as like classic rock through a modern filter, really.
Yeah. No, that's good, because the whole prog thing, again, back to Quebec, we have, in the last year and a half, we've seen Sons of Apollo and Neil Morse Band, both in Montreal, and just talking to people before the shows, their knowledge of prog and almost a disdain for us for not knowing more about it. But the whole the idea of prog, to me, it kind of encompasses everything, like the ones I mentioned.
Yeah.
To the aristocrats, and through the aristocrats, Ken did an interview with Brian Beller, and Brian Beller referred Janet Feder to us. So I interviewed her, and I have a review of her latest album from 2016. And she's actually the one who referred you to us.
Right, she came to our show in Denver, yeah.
Okay, because her music is, to me, progressive as well. It's classical technique with sounds, and I found her music absolutely fascinating.
Of course, that's me. It's a curious genre, really, because, again, it's progressive. So what does that mean? It should be boundary pushing. It should make the listener sort of reflect and think and really feel something.
Yes.
It's not music that should be put on in the background at a party.
Exactly.
It's really like put on the headphones and listen to it over and over and over, and if it's good enough, I think you should be able to listen to it over and over and explore and find new things every time. That's what I try to achieve. Maybe I can't help it because I end up putting like 27 bass tracks on any given song, but
I did.
Never too much bass.
Yeah, and in listening to your music, that's the thing I really liked about it, was just the number of layers, how everything fit so well and was never cluttered. And
yeah, thank you. That's the thing. A lot of people think that, there's two basses on a song. I was on tour with Adrian in Milan, and we were having dinner with Stuart Copeland from the Police, and I told him, my band, Ecotest, you guys are actually copying off of me, haha. I started this band in Italy because I like to come here and eat pasta too. And I started this band with this other bass player, and Stuart immediately cut me off, and in disgust, why do you guys always do that? You bass players have to play together. I think someone's a little bit, traumatized by Sting. I don't know, but
yes.
but I kind of the whole time was trying to convince him, hey man, it's actually not what you think, because I'm playing a bass 6. I'm running it with a MIDI pickup through a bass modeler that enables me to make it sound like several different types of basses and keyboards and guitars through harmonizers. Marco uses harmonizers as well, and weird other wacky There's the flex pedal from Mantic that I don't even know. It makes crazy sounds. So, I think when people see us live, they're often surprised, like, oh, Julie's playing the bass line there. Oh, now Marco's playing the bass line. A lot of people expect Marco to play the bass most of the time because he's got what looks more like a traditional bass. But, the bass 6 still has those low strings, and I use my bass modeler to detune it even lower. So sometimes I'm playing lower notes than Marco. Sometimes he's way up high playing with the slide. That's the fun of the project. We're just two bass players creating music. We both happen to just play bass. Those are our vehicles for expression. But really, at the end of the day, we write songs, and we want to service what's best for the song, and we don't want things to be overly cluttered with a bunch of bass notes, of course, because that will sound muddy and very bad.
Yes. Now, what kind of basses do you use?
So we both play Lakeland basses from Chicago, which to me are the best.
Yes. Yeah, no, Ken just pointed out, I'm not sure if you heard it, but his brother plays Lakeland bass as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, a lot of times on tour with Adrian, like sound men and women, sound engineers, I should say, would come up to me, oh, Lakeland, ooh, Aguilar, playing through an Aguilar bass amp, oh, this is going to sound great tonight. And that always makes me feel really good because sound engineers are notoriously curmudgeon. So when you get one excited, first of all, they're usually pretty excited that Adrian's in the building. Let's be real.
Yes.
And then, of course, they see my rig and they're excited again. And so it's really a joy for them to mix. So everybody has a good time. The fans have a great time. It's just always fun.
No, that's great. And you mentioned a few of the pedals. Could you talk a little bit about your whole signal chain then?
With Echo Test, I'm playing the Lakeland Decade 6. So again, that's a bass 6. It looks a lot like a guitar. A lot of people see the pictures of me with it. They think, oh, you're playing guitar now. Boo. No, it's a bass. It's my hard to play bass, easy to play guitar because all the strings are smaller and closer together. So therefore, it's harder to play for me than like I've been playing, a 4 or 5 string bass. Really a 4 string bass my whole life. So I play it differently. I play chords with it and things like that. I like to use that for writing. That has a MIDI Roland GK3 pickup inside. So I run a 13-pin cable out of that into a Roland VV99 bass synthesizer. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
And that enables me, again, like I said before, to model several different types of basses, Music Man, Stingrays, Thunderbirds, obviously Fender Precision or Jazz basses, fretless basses, upright basses, as well as different synths. So I like, different, awesome synth sounds and flute sounds or guitar sounds. And that goes into a Pigtronics Philosopher's Stone compressor, which is always on. I love compression because I'm changing my technique all the time, whether it's with a 5-string bass, 4-string bass, or the bass 6 I'm talking about. I, can play with my fingers, arpeggio with a pick. So having the compression just helps the notes sustain as well as, maintain a consistent volume so that the notes don't get lost. That goes into a Mantic Vitriol distortion pedal, which I love dearly. I've tried many, many fuzz pedals over the years, and this one has a low and high frequency EQ on it, so it really, you can maintain a lot of that bass signal. It doesn't get lost. A lot of times with bass distortions, you turn it on and it's so bassy, and really there's no high end, and it kind of like is scooped in a weird way that it actually gets lost in the mix.
Yes.
Or it's really wild and kind of, really screechy, and you lose all the bottom end. So I really enjoy this pedal because it has both of those, it has the high and it has the low. You switch it on and it actually does what a bass distortion should. It makes it really gnarly without the loss of quality of the signal. That goes into 2 Eventide processors. One is a pitch factor harmonizer, which I use a lot with Echo Test. And that is really like a great, actually multi-effect unit because it is a harmonizer. Therefore, it does work as a chorus and an octave or delay pedal because all of those things are needed to make a harmonizer pedal do what it does. Of course, I can have it harmonize one note and, have it be an octave apart or a fifth apart or a third apart. but again, it also has a delay function, and even one of my favorite, I call it, it's like my go-to, like if I'm not feeling inspired on a particular track, or I'm kind of at a place where, what do I do with this song? It's got this feature called quadrivox, which is a 4-part harmonizer. I can play one note on the bass, and I can get 4 notes out of that one note.
Okay.
So on Daughter of Ocean, like the first track, the beginning opening motif was written with this pedal. I'm playing like only 3 notes, but you're hearing this nice arpeggio because I've programmed it, and it's completely programmable. You can set the spacing between the notes, the key, the tempo, of course. So I'll have a session open in Logic or something on my computer. I'll see the tempo. Okay, it's 90 beats per minute. So I set the quadrivox to 90 beats per minute. Okay, let's make the delay like a half note or a quarter note or even like a triplet. And then you can change the A pitch, B pitch, C pitch, or D pitch, so 4 pitches, and then the spacing between those pitches. You can hit one note and get like a chord out of it. So that in and of itself, could keep you busy for days, and I've written a lot with that pedal because it inspires me to play bass differently, and of course I love that. And then that goes into an H9 pedal, which is Eventide's flagship unit. It has a pitch, it's completely maxed out. So you buy the algorithms actually through the App Store, through iPhone or Android now. I think they have support for both. And so the pitch factor is actually, all those algorithms are already inside of this pedal as well. So sometimes I use them together, like on our song The Mirror Writing, on our second record, Le Fil Rouge. I actually have the pitch factor set to a delayed perfect fifth, and then that goes into my H9, and I have that set to the quadrivox preset, and that will give me, so the fifth plus through the 4-note harmonizer, so essentially it's an 8-note harmonizer at that point. And that, again, it made me, you play the bass differently, because with Adrian, when I'm playing the 5-string Lakeland, I bend the notes, and I'm playing super fast and doing all this impressive stuff. I can't really be that expressive when I'm using, like, the 4-part harmonizer, because if I bend that note, it's going to sound really bad. So I have to be a little bit more clinical and precise when I'm playing with those things. But it sounds really cool.
It does.
And then, it does. And then, there's also, like, the space reverb. So I'll put like the harmonizer through all sorts of crazy Eventide reverb effects. Eventide, they're known for their studio rack units that people paid thousands and thousands of dollars for in the 80s, which Robert Fripp, of course, used, and Adrian, of course, used back in the day. And I think Robert still probably uses those rack effects. And now it's like a little tiny, the carbon footprint, the footprint of it is like so small. That's why I love it. And then you've got the mod factor pedal inside, so all those modulation effects, the time factor, delay effects, and then they keep releasing like their own proprietary H9 algorithm. So I'll get like a text or a notification on my phone, hey, we've come out with a new algorithm. Download the new algorithm through the app. So it's so weird. You connect through the pedal through Bluetooth and you update it that way. So it's just like, that to me is like my desert island pedal. If I could only pick one that I would ever have, that one does it all, really. I mean, it's incredible. And I like using the pitch factor with it because even though, I probably could get another H9 to feed that signal, because that's the only downside. You can't really do 2 presets at once with it. It's like a multi-effects pedal, but you can't say, I want the quadrivox and the space at the same time,
Yeah.
So you would need 2 pedals for that. So, and I like the fact that the pitch factor still has knobs on it and more buttons, so I can, I'm not necessarily using my phone or iPad on stage to work with my pedals. And that's the other thing, is the fact that they're completely digital. You can save those presets, and they'll be the same every time, which is super cool.
Okay.
And then that all runs into a looper, and that goes into another H9 or an Eventide Rose pedal, and those are like my post-loop effects.
Okay.
So I can then process the loops after the fact. Those are new. That's a whole new setup for me that I've been experimenting with since I came off the tour. I love pedals. I could talk about it forever. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll definitely be including a few links to some of your videos because I was really impressed just by the variety of sound color that you were able to get. And just
Thanks. Yeah, I mean that's the thing with just a small amount of gear too. That's the amazing thing about it.
yes,
It's really not that much.
right. Because you have a fairly good social media presence as well, and I was thinking about that with a lot of the musicians that we've spoken to over the last couple of years. We're meeting people who were big in the '80s and '90s and are
Sure.
still touring, but everything has changed
Right.
now. You were brought up in this social media age, and
Right.
how have you seen the music landscape change in this short time?
Well, I think it's been great. I mean, even seeing somebody like Adrian start to get involved with Facebook now. I've seen a complete direct correlation between his presence on Facebook, like it's actually him making those posts, of course, and telling those intimate stories. We're seeing more fans at the shows, like selling out more venues, and we're also seeing more young people, of course, because they're on social media just as
Right.
much as well, the boomers are getting there too. So I love that connection that we can get, and Adrian does too. He loves looking at Facebook and seeing how the jokes that people make when he posts pictures of his new sparkly shoes or whatever. And again, like I mentioned before, my Bandcamp subscription or any crowdfunding campaign that I do for Ecotest, that is the only promotion that I do right now currently is through social media, through Facebook. So when I'm launching a campaign, I post it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Mainly the traffic is on Facebook because that's the demographic that works the best for me.
Okay.
But it's amazing that we have these tools at our fingertips now. I mean, I'm a big, obviously I'm playing with Adrian and I'm talking about all these pedals. I'm a big proponent for using technology for good, rather than evil. And
Yes.
and using these things, we have these things available at our fingertips. So let's use them. And I'm always looking for ways to even become better at it.
Okay, yeah, and you mentioned your Bandcamp app.
Yeah.
And that I've looked at that. I'm definitely signing up for that. I think it's
Thank you.
I think it's a great way to sort of get around, as you mentioned in one of the interviews I listened to, getting around Spotify and the streaming services that are not beneficial to artists.
Exactly, and the thing is too a lot of fans of this type of music are really like audiophiles, and streaming is never going to be the ideal way to really listen to music, especially one that's made with two basses with lots of pedals that you want to hear the full resolution. So when you support artists through Bandcamp, yes, you're supporting the artist much more directly. Bandcamp takes 15%. I mean, I think I own, like a minimal percentage compared to Spotify, of course. And then you're able to download the record in complete lossless, flat, quality. Bandcamp won't even allow you to upload anything less than a full resolution file. You cannot upload MP3s to Bandcamp. You have to upload WAV or AIFF files.
Okay. So what is Julie Slick doing in 2020?
Well, I'm still we're working on the next Ecotest record. We're always working on music, even if we've just put a record out, or even we're still working on a record. We're always writing and Dropboxing things. That's another thing about technology that the Ecotest wouldn't even exist without the magic of Facebook or Dropbox or the magic of these things. So Marco and I are currently sending demos back and forth to one another. We have over an hour of new music that we're working on, and when I'm back in Philly for the holidays next week, I plan to go into the studio and start organizing some of these tracks. And then, I'm trying to, like I said, I'm not going to be that busy with Adrian, so I'd love to start organizing more shows with Marco and Ale, and keep making the new music. And also looking forward to, I've just moved here to Seattle, so definitely looking forward to working with some of the wonderful experimental artists that live here. I've been playing with this artist, Beth Fleener. She has a band called Crystal Beth and the Boom Boom Band.
Okay.
And I've just started performing with her. She sings in her own language called Bethnic. She plays clarinet and runs things through a line 6 delay looper pedal and makes really fun, crazy sounds. She's featured on our last record, Devotion. She's on the track called Dull Eyes, Lighthead. So you can hear some of her work there. And also, she has a new record out, so I will promote that for her, called Push Through. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to starting to work with her. And we're also possibly working on another new band together, you know, our own music that we're actually meeting tomorrow to start that band. So yeah, I'm looking to start a bunch of new projects. So anybody listening, if you have any new projects and you would like me to play bass, hit me up on social media.
Well, no, that sounds great. I really do hope you can make it up to Canada at some point, and for the music you play, specifically Quebec, would be fantastic for you and for Quebec.
Definitely.
Okay,
oh, yeah,
well, that is fantastic. Thank you so much for this. I really enjoyed this interview.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much.
And I do hope that all your hard work continues to pay off for you.
Yeah, thank